Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. This is your brother Shuaib from Longevity Organic Strength Training underscore Organic Strength Foods underscore Organic Strength Recovery. Now, this session is really important, guys. I need you to pay attention and listen carefully. Okay. Now, I would assume that you are an ex overseas, you are an overseas Pakistani, an expat, or you are a foreigner, okay? And you don't know anything about, you don't have any personal experience, you have lived all your life outside Pakistan, or you are a foreigner and obviously you don't know how is the healthcare system within Pakistan, specifically in Lahore and Islamabad. I'm not going to talk about Karachi, specifically Lahore and Islamabad, because I have personal experience in these twin cities. These are called the twin cities, and they are the after Karachi, which is the you know densely populated city, the largest city in Pakistan. Then we have Lahore, and then we have Islamabad. And Karachi used to be the capital, but now Islamabad is the capital. That's just the bare basics. Now, the issue at hand, the issue that I want to discuss with you today is really important. It's about the government hospital healthcare situation currently as of 29th of November 2025. What is the current situation on ground, real? Because we just went through it. We just we were in Lahore General Hospital. It's a semi-government hospital. Just a few days ago, just 1 or 2 days ago, and so it's a very recent experience. And I've been dealing with healthcare healthcare industry and healthcare system in Pakistan since last 7 years. Okay, 6 to 7 years, and mind you, I'm coming from a background. I'm born and raised in Saudi. Spent most of my time in Saudi Arabia, and they have a really decent healthcare system. And similarly, last 3 years I was in Dubai and I've seen the DHA and the healthcare system in UAE. And then, and I've been through that, you know, it's very sophisticated and it has its own benefits and limitations. This is just part one, and today I'm going to talk about Pakistan. Perhaps in part two and upcoming parts, I will share. In part two, I'll talk about Saudi. In part three, I'll talk about Dubai. Part four, I'll talk about Malaysia. So I'll talk about and maybe part five and six, I'll talk about the healthcare system in Europe and US, UK, Canada. Okay. And today we are living in a global village, as you know, and everyone, um not only if you are a passive person on the internet, then you are just watching content. But if you're an active person on the internet, that you reach out to people and you talk and you engage and you do podcast and you do interview calls, both private and public, and you are into research, you are into understanding how the world works, and you are really driven to change the world and have an impact at least in your gully, mohalla, as in your street, your neighborhood, your district, maybe your city. At least you can focus on your street and district level. You can build from there, inshallah ta'ala. So, but I really feel it's really important to bring everybody on one page. Pakistan today has come far and is I'm a Pakistani citizen and I'm a Muslim and I'm a Pakistani citizen. So I'm gonna speak for myself. From my perspective, last 77 plus years, 78, 77, whatever, I've seen Pakistan come a long way. You know, I've seen it come a long way. It's a really resilient nation, really resilient people. You know, this resilience has two sides of the coin, the positives and the negatives. Please ignore the lot of azans ongoing. It's Isha time. You know, there is not. There are so many masajid here, and every masjid have their own timing of azan, pretty much. So maybe 1 hour goes by and it's full of azans. You know. So I already answered the first azan and from the Ahlul Hadith Masjid, and then uh, it's allowed to speak just for those Muslims who don't know, who don't have knowledge. It is allowed to speak whilst the azan is ongoing. Obviously, it is better if you respond to the azan. It is there is a high reward. There is more ajr for that. But if not so, if you have something important to talk, then then well English. Azan, no nothing that prohibits you from talking November 2025, which corresponds to 8 or 9 of Jamadi al-Akhir, Jamadi al-Thani, 1447 after Hijri, and this is longevity, organic strength training, and this is Shuaib with you. For personal reasons, I'm gonna talk on some really sensitive issues today, and so that's why I will not be showing my face in this video today. And also, generally, I don't like showing my face. I just do so that the people know that I'm real. I'm not AI generated. I just show a little bit of my face just so that people know this is authentic, 100% authentic content, real content. I always do my own research as a tech life coach. I always do my own independent. I'm also an independent researcher. I do my own research and I create my own content. I don't copy paste. I don't follow people. I don't copy people. I am a trend setter. I don't follow trends. I build trends. I don't follow communities. I build communities. That's what I've done last 17 years, pretty much. Okay. So I am somewhat like this. That's my avatar. You can go to longevity or organic strength training and you can have a look at some of my fitness videos so you know my level in fitness. And fitness is something, fitness, wellness, healthcare. I've been passionate about this from a very young age, and you know rightly so. It is something really important. It is something common between all of us. Fitness and food and good health, this is something critical. It's important. This is something that's important to all of us. It's not something exclusive to me. And I always like talking on issues that I believe brings us together. That's common. Instead of those rhetorics and topics and which generally you see on YouTube and on social media and on TV. They're talking on boring stuff on the news. This has happened, that has happened, what to do, you know. All the politics and all that is nonsense. That's not really news, and that's just a waste of time. So, what does that benefit anyone? What will actually benefit you is if you are an American or a British or some other nation sitting outside and you see a failed system. US is a failed system. It's a messed up healthcare system. It's a messed up political system. in every way you look, economically, it's a big mess. US is a big mess. So it's really important that you like realize that there has to be what people need to understand. There has to be a way out, right? There has to be a way out. So I just did a session, with the session before Maghrib, and prior to that, I did this session. This was my first session that I recorded on the 4th of October 2025. Okay, it's on mental wellness. You you won't believe how many people don't take mental wellness seriously, and then they bear the consequences. So it's worth reading books, watching podcasts, and learning about what mental wellness is all about. Because a healthy mind can really lead to a happier life, a more fulfilling life, right? If you're thinking straight, if you're strong in your foundations, right? And so coming back to our topic, whether you are an expat who's planning to move to Pakistan and get away with the taxes and safety is a serious issue in the US. Safety is a serious issue in the US. I met Americans in Dubai who told me this, that the Brits and the Americans and others, they are just living, not one, I had thousands of personal interviews. And obviously now, even though I can, but I don't, and I can take consent, and I can ask permission, and I can share a lot of things in this presentation with you. I can, but perhaps I can share the evidences and proofs and screenshots in the future videos. Perhaps, inshallah ta'ala. So you know that whatever I'm saying is based on real data, real evidence. It's not stuff that I'm making up. I have gone through a lot, and I've seen people gone through a lot. And only after that, I'm making this live session. You know. So in the last 7 years alone, I dealt with eye operation. You know, eye operation. The laser. Uh, I forgot the name. There's a name for it. The laser eye operation to correct the eyesight. I dealt with that in Islamabad, in Dindi, the largest eye hospital. Then I dealt with children hospital. It's a government hospital. Some kids were asthmatic. They had asthma issues. So in the winters, when they were young, I had a serious episode there because the kids' oxygen saturation that was really top. And then Um, so I'm just talking about the very serious ones. I had one episode here in Lahore, in Mansoura Hospital and CMH Hospital. It was a liver failure case. All these are like people, family, people within my close family. Okay, and my grandmother just passed away, and last week, a couple of days ago, and seems like yesterday. And she went through a long 11 years. She was bedridden for 11 years. Imagine that. And so a lot of insights from my relatives, how they dealt with her being bedridden for 11 years. She had bed sores. If you don't know bed sores, that's like your आपका जो गोश है बड़े-बड़े सड़ जाता है, तो एक ही तरफ का पेशेंट करवट लिए रखे, लेटा रहे for several hours, तो वहाँ से गोश सड़ जाता है। तो अभी हमने जो है कि वो स्पेशल एक बेड आता है जो हवा से ऑसिलेट करता रहता है कॉन्स्टेंटली, या पेशेंट की जो पोजीशन है चेंज करता रहता है और उससे बेड सोर नहीं होते। तो आई हाईली रिकमेंड आपके जितने भी how whoever you have as a patient, the first thing you need to do is get this. You need to buy this special kind of mattress, insulated mattress, which oscillates with air to keep the body moving, keep up the ventilation. Okay, and especially in the summers. Winter is not that much a problem. Summers is a serious problem, and even winter can be a problem, by the way. And then comes uh, very recently, since last 1 year, 1.5 year now, 1 year, the case of my father, who's stroke paralyzed, right body full paralyzed. The whole right side of his body is paralyzed, who's partially paralyzed and bedridden since almost more than a year now. So dealing, recovering him, as an ex-overseas Pakistani, having lived in Saudi, being born there, and having experienced excellent healthcare in Saudi Arabia, and then in Dubai, and then in Malaysia, and then coming to Pakistan and seeing people suffer in the government hospitals, even see people suffer in the um, private hospitals, you know, and then obviously the suffering, the limitations you have in home care, So all these three topics is a major topic. How is the government hospital right now? What do they have to offer? What are their limitations? What's the private scene? What's the home care scene? So that is what all I want to talk about. I want to tell you. You know what? It's time for Aisha right now. I really need to go immediately. So we'll stop it here, and I will do a part two right after Salah. Okay, because this is really important. Probably I'll have dinner after Isha, and then I will continue with part two. Okay, so please listen to this very carefully, because I had personal first-hand experience, and I have taken interviews of thousands of people. I have spoken to professional doctors, and I have spoken to just hundreds of people, thousands of people, certified and professional, and you know at global level, at national level, and I've also spoken to the layman and the poor people, you know, and I've gone out to the poor, यहाँ जो गांव हैं, छोटी जो बस्तियां हैं गाँव में, the poor villages, the poor, you know, areas, and I've gone there and spoken to them for hours and tried to understand ये सारे जो लेबर तबका है और मेड्स और लेबर तबका और ये सारे, what are their medical challenges, what are the medical challenges that they face. तो बच्चों के क्या मेडिकल challenges हैं, बच्चियों के क्या हैं, adults के क्या हैं, elderly के क्या हैं. We are gonna talk about all of them, but we are gonna focus primarily on, you know, diabetes and blood pressure reversal, and we are gonna, because I've done that, I've achieved that. I began my efforts many years ago, specifically in 2020, officially in 2020. That's when I started the longevity movement, and then from there I have more than 1,000 success story, more than 1,000 people, more than 3,000 people, one-on-one, thousands of people, and globally, so many success stories globally, so many cases, So I will only speak on things that I have personal experience, I have deep knowledge, I have first-hand experience, I have success, and it's proven. And I can even bring those people live on to join. And not everyone likes that, but and most people are shy and they want to stay anonymous. But if anyone offers to like open up, then definitely I'll bring them in, so this is real stuff. and it's phenomenal. It's unbelievable. If I share my research and my results, you will not believe it. It's unbelievable, SubhanAllah. But all of this is only from the fatwa of Allah. All right, let's continue right after Isha. Please come back. It's already 20 minutes in. Yalla, Assalamu alaikum.